I'm here with Bradley Dunn. Bradley Dunn or Bradley Dunn?
Bradley Dunn, he's got this name.
Bradley Dunn. I'm here with Bradley Dunn. Lovely name, by the way. At Reshape 2019. Bradley, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me here. I'm very pleased.
With absolute pleasure. Bradley, we are on the same page when it comes to our understanding of the landscape, I feel. And we are very open and very vocal about it. So I think that the theme or the subject of today is unfiltered.
We need that sometimes. I think it's especially these days, a critical mode will help push people back maybe in the right direction, and also to reflect moments in time, because technology is like, it goes so fast and fashion goes so fast. Sometimes it's just nice to have some honest feedback.
Absolutely. So let's look at fashion tech, because this is a bit of a problem, and the problem stems from having different understandings of what fashion tech is.
Correct. Mostly it's also that educational is that we have so many educational basics from engineering, science, from people who design and fashion have a different kind of perspective in the fashion tech. For a lot of the industry is for them, let me say, very rigid, a way to push one direction. And in the creative field wants to have a lot of options, but for the creative fashion design it's mostly a tool at that moment in time what is available.
Great stuff. I like that so much. So indeed, it's a tool in the hands of the craftsman.
Correct.
Technology, and it's contextually bound because the world changes fast.
And they love to, you know, the beauty of designers, they want to break down, they want to burn it down, they start from scratch. And if you see how people work these days, they build the machines and that's it, and that machine has to do mass production or any way of copying production. And the fashion team needs to slow down and pace and see, okay, what can we do with our hands or partnership, what can we do produce, and do what kind of fashion technology can we use to enhance new kind of shapes in the current time of tools, kind of software, hardware, and explore that. That's quite not, that is not what everybody understands mostly. Putting LED on the dress is not fashion technology. It's
Very
horrible.
True. That resonates so much with the TED talk that I've done recently, where I criticize that approach. But I'm going back to the tool. I'm going back to technology. Any kind of technology that you can imagine or envision as a tool in the hand of the craftsman.
Correct.
Now, a button, a zipper, was technology at some point in time.
The zipper, the zipper was an invention of people. Velcro grip, you know, and
absolutely.
Velcro sneakers already, wow, and the designers embraced it. I think it was a reflecting moment in time when fashion designers embedded that and executed well in design. These days, and these examples are very clear. Now, because of the merge and the hybrid of the tech industry, penetrating the fashion industry and using technology as an excuse to highlight all kind of gadgets, all kind of rubbish, and I'm not going to go too rigid on that one, needs to be spaced down and see what can we embrace to use craftsmanship, emerge, use that in, do we want to reproduce things, or do we need to enhance what I cannot use from my hands, use technology to use new shapes? So it becomes an extra tool from your mind and brain. That could be more a central point for me, that way. And there's not everybody agrees with that, it's fine for me. But I think we need to slow down and see how we can use the soft and the hardware and button that and create new shapes.
So I like that approach so much, slowing down, using technology to slow down. And it might sound like an oxymoron, like technology is fast paced and technology moves very fast.
It is. We need to slow down, especially with the whole thing is that 30, 40, 50 years ago we had problems. We had problems to produce stuff. And technology was helping us to replicate, to produce stuff, or to make factories safer and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of aesthetic shapes and material resources, we really need to, let's really develop stuff. And there's so many items are not well designed, not appealing. How come we don't paste them down? Google Glass is a big disaster. Why? There was no good design behind them. And we're still struggling this out. If you look at the old furniture and interior design from the 60s, from the Eames, people who bending the wood, the Bauhaus period, bending really industrial items, making a really good design, and people still embrace them, still people love them. Now, oh yeah, we have the new sneaker from Adidas, it's more foam wet, and then we go next because they want to follow new techniques. It's wrong.
So fashion tech has value.
Yeah.
The latest emerging technologies have a tremendous amount of value for the fashion industry,
Yeah.
but in the aspect of customizing garments, slowing down and create unique pieces on the verging of art rather than...
We created a fast industry when we have the push industry, but I told you before, we have tons, 100,000 of clothing being filled up in warehouses and in stores. Our grandparents went to the customer to make a good jacket, tailor it on a pool construction. And they used the best sewing machines, the best crafting technology to make the best crafted material, whatever. I think with slowing down and also technology, we can use with the new technology to pace down and go back to the quality and go to a pool construction instead of overproducing stuff and use technology and we can replicate and reproduce and replicate and reproduce in a shorter time and maybe in the best resource time and money time. And I think that could help.
Yeah, love that. That's amazing. Love that. Let's dive deep into a subject that I know it's fairly sensitive to you, and that's augmented reality, artificial intelligence,
correct. Machine learning. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's look at AI, not as we have it now as an algorithm, but let's assume we fast forward 10, 15 years from now, and let's assume that we have a self-learning AI.
Yeah.
Can that entity, if I can call it like that, a salient designer can create on a par with a human fashion?
I think if we talk especially in the fashion, designers, not only fashion, product designers, are storytellers. And the biggest problem I have now these days with the algorithm and artificial intelligence, even in the 10 years, is we're missing the spark, the origin. The Four Seasons about Vivaldi or Bach or any musician had his mother died, saying you had an origin. Somebody's love broke her.
There's a story behind.
There's a story behind. There is some appealing things where people relate on. Using a machine learning and artificial intelligence to create a copy and learn from a person doesn't mean that in the creative field that is appealing or strong. And that is missing. The emerging item and the essence, I think, in the 10 years, then maybe we have to give the artificial, give him the fire, give him then own, and then give him the rights to vote. Also, I mean,
absolutely. Random personhood, it becomes a being.
And then, what I may be missing is the social aspects. The parameters now, all built in technology, don't have the social aspect. What we see here, the low social awareness are being embedded in technology, embedded into the car. If we want to have that, then please give the artificial access to the world suffering. Give them access to the pain, what's going anywhere in the world. But that pain, let them create, then I'm fine with it. But it's not happening.
Great, so I have a question here. I'm going to try to complete what you said and make sure that I've got it right. I look at the AI in a not so far future as a salient entity that is at the moment fed with patterns and data in order to construct an output. But in the future, assuming that AI can learn by itself, then that AI should have access to all the types of information in the world. Pain, World War I, II, art, Renaissance, and so on. So when the AI has access not only to all the history of humanity, but has access to all types of materials, then can that AI create some crazy pieces of fashion that we've never seen before?
I think then the AI going to question the human body. Because
Interesting.
I think it's more not about we think in products. We think in always surrounding or up by fabrics. I think that in the future AI is going to question our function as a body.
That's mind blowing.
For me, I think I will come up with things we think is not logic, irrelevant, but his information or her, how you can call it, with all the data and all the stuff, then you come with different functionality, how we protect, or in a different environment, how they think about the human body.
So we expect the AI to think like us, like humans, however, and create fashion. However, the AI could suddenly say, look, I have a different way of thinking.
Exactly, because that's just the beauty of now. That's the whole thing with fashion in general. These days, you have the main majority things. Okay, this is it. This color. Fashion already decided 5-6 years ago. The trend. Now, this between men, the shoulders in the 80s. This is proportion.
Absolutely.
Whiteness. This is. You can see the white one is 60s. So proportions and differentiality is made by creative people. Skinny jeans, wider jeans. You always have a counter reaction. Always on that.
Which relates to the social context.
Which relationship, the concept of what's happening on the street. People are feeling it. It's completely not happening in the technology. People are always behind. Technology is always behind that. They always think, oh, this is in, so we follow the trends. But the trends are made already even before. So I hope that if we talk about an intelligent way, that the prediction is not easy. What is feeling around on the streets, anywhere, and do the counter reaction, because that's all about fashion. It's a reaction on the cultures, a reaction on the movements, and people dictate that, and not machines or not your mother. It's a whole kind of finesse things what throws in the air, and it's counter reaction.
So, from 5 years from now,
Yeah.
where do you see, let's call it the fashion tech
Yeah.
tribe group? Where do you see the
I think
innovators that are looking at fashion?
I think that we're going to very be in a harsh bridge. I think that the fashion tech will be more focused on the material development and on the logistic and the B2B and the background. And I think that the creatives are going to be more distant from all technology, especially that with the 5G and all the maybe information we have that technology around the body is not that good as we want, and that we can maybe create new shapes. More like so. In between our 5 years, I think we have a hard bridge. What we see now is more the merge of understanding and learning, and that we can have much more creative people who will not be connected to any technology. Just going back to the source and go to a rigid of the Bauhaus period from guys, what do we think is appealing? Why can we embrace new ways? And this is the machine or the software we have in 5 years. I'm going to use it next, leave me alone. Because don't forget that technology is very disposable. You know, you have a phone and half your day is already old phone. So that's why we don't want to calm down. Technology is always driven by new, fast. We're getting completely overwhelmed of all the software and hardware updates. And that you want to have a good piece, a good jacket. Any high-end brand, people are proud to have a vintage Chanel dress. Oh, look, a good bag. It's maybe 20 years old, but the quality is really good. You can't use that with the technology. Oh yeah, my battery died, so I can't use that anymore because my jacket doesn't function anymore. It's not that appealing. So fashion tech, we really have to be very cautious on that way.
So I want to close this with a question,
No.
and the question is, let's look at these emerging designers, amazing creations. You as a guy that you've been operating at the intersection of fashion with technology, you've been dealing with mega stars, and you're the CEO of IvH Herpen, and you have a tremendous amount of experience that you can share with these emerging designers. What one advice, if you could give them, what would that be to help them in their career?
Oh, for most of the things, think not only in your own world. Collaborate with the specialists around you in a different industry. That can be the music, can be the architecture, can be the game. Don't only look in your own world. That will help you to get, thanks to your knowledge, because people seek knowledge. Even the Formula 1 race from Haas, you can work with them. Your way of processing as a creative person is very, very needed. As a startup person in any design or fashion thing, use your knowledge, what you learn, step out of one leg out of the box and work with different industries. That really will open your eyes and they respect you in a very, very clear way with your knowledge. And that brings you also to small business and helps you to go on your thing.
Bradley, amazing advice. I could talk to you forever,
Oh,
but we are
thanks.
time limited.
No
But
problem.
thank you so much for being with us here today.
All right,
Thank you.
All right.
Bradley, amazing stuff.